Hello and welcome to anyone actually tuning in right now. This is a late night video. Sometimes I get a bit lost in my thoughts, and I wanted to see about making a video and seeing if I can go through it maybe with you guys. So this is a talks video. I'm going to be making actually a playlist about what this is about, but nevertheless, bing bang boing. I'm Jam, for the people that don't know. This is my channel, whether it be Amsterjam or my podcast channel being Controlled Insanity. I have a lot of things I gotta fix out the bugs on, but we're gonna figure it out. I'm sure we will. But today's talk is, I actually spoke about it in my podcast, um, but I'm just gonna try to go over. I'm gonna go over what I spoke about prior already in my podcast, and I'm also gonna go over a different topic as well, just to get these two talks out of the way. And I refer to it as talk because, it's just going to be a quick thing about how I go about it, how I perceive it. Quick video. You won't need to go all the way through a podcast just to get a little insight about something about how I, how I deal, how I interpret it, how I find meaning in it. So what I spoke about previously in the podcast was something I'd like to say is pretty simple, right? Which is when interacting with people, there's many ways to interact with people. One of the default things that helps when interacting with people online is the fact that you more or less already know how to go about saying hello to the person you're speaking to, because most of the time they have a username. Most of the time they have something to refer to them as, which helps you immediately, the steps are always there, to initiate it. And it's usually pretty simple when you go about that. Seeing the name is a very simple thing. But some people overcomplicate it with certain levels of nuances. Now you might be wondering, oh shit, what do you mean? One of the things that people do that I'm immediately like, come on, don't do that, is straight to titles. Now, when people set their usernames or their names as titles such as things that you earn or that have been given to you by some decree or whatever. Like you go into a server, you're having a lot of talks, you're speaking to Joseph is talking to Melanie, Melanie, you're having a talk, someone joins the chat and their name is Daddy. Their name is Queen. Their name is Dom McGivens. Their name is Mommy Dearest. And you're having a pretty benign conversation. You just want to talk to people, see how their days are going, maybe have some wacky talks in between. But all those names that just popped in, or not, Daddy, Dom, McGinnis, all of these things, the way I interpret it is always, I don't know you. So why in the world would I refer to you and acknowledge you by referring to you as a title that to some degree gives you some metaphorical power, right? Now, don't get me wrong, don't overthink it, but I have met people that were honest enough with me to tell me why they use titles and how it makes them feel in regards to, how they go about it. And it's not the same all the time, of course. But nevertheless, one experience I had was someone told me when I chose to make myself this username title, which was in his case King Daddy or something like that, which at that point was two titles on top of one. They were like, oh, well, it actually helps a lot with my personality. And I was like, well, my nickname, Jam, I feel like that encapsulates my personality. You don't know what you might get out of me, but chances are you'll get something.
Jam, you're muted.
I don't know what. It could be a commercial on breast milk. Fun facts about pee. Hell if I know. But when he said, okay, it encapsulates my personality being King Daddy, I'm like, all right, there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel that looking at that name immediately creates this foreshadowing nuance. It has a way of setting a tone or a mood that you may not be there for in that moment. Like King Daddy could make you seem like you're the lead of a group when you just got there to someone who doesn't know what's going on, you know? And referring to you as King Daddy when you're not like giving anything to a group makes it seem like you might be the main person giving something to a group when you're actually not, you know? Instead of just calling you by a nickname like fucking Costi, Evan, or an actual name, Joshua, whatever, you know? It's just last thing I want to do when I'm trying to get to know someone I don't know is unintentionally feed a certain level of ego or self-gratification when I don't know who I'm talking to and I'm trying to get to know the person. A lot of the times I'll meet people and I'll say, you know what? Aside from the name, you have a great personality. I would like to continue talking to you because I'd like this to grow. I like what this is becoming. But I don't need to call you daddy, king, dami, mommy, some other shit every time I talk to you, right? So instead, I'm going to look at king and I'm going to call you ing. I'm going to call you ting. I'm going to call you anything else that's close enough to what your name is, that has a vague meaning in itself. Your name is mommy. I'm going to call you mommy. I'm sorry, not mommy. I'm going to call you Mimi. I'm going to call you Omi. Like, if you refer to it and you understand that I'm not doing it out of bad intent, negative intent. You understand that everything that we've spoken about has been positive, it's been constructive. You and me, we're growing in this conversation. And yet, I'm not calling you by your name, which kind of, you kind of think to yourself, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, there's a couple things to acknowledge. If I'm not trying to hurt you, and you see that, but I'm not referring to you by your name, you could think, oh, maybe he read it wrong. But then you'll notice, okay, he just told me he didn't read it wrong. He just he feels more comfortable not referring to me as that name. Do you respect that? I hope so. Because understand the position you're putting someone else in. To say a name that last thing they want to do is proactively or passively, anytime they talk to you, give you some type of, how do you say, pedestal by default. When I would always like to think we're always mano a mano on the same playing field, that by default you're up there and I'm already lowered by simply saying your name. Now, for people that, of course, have earned titles, like let's say doctor, president, unless these are roles put into the server, those roles will usually be, let's say on Discord, for example, those roles will usually be on that person's profile, right? For that specific server. It'll be underling. Like, oh shit, I see you got the king role, the president role, which means you have some point of, level here. You have maybe administrative, moderator, whatever. That acknowledges that. But I will not refer to you as that. But I am acknowledging the fact that, oh shit, you have the president role, which tells me where you are here or what kind of person you are or how did you earn that in this specific server. Again, not a title, it's a role. But no, that kind of like sums it up. Just last thing I want to do is proactively lower myself when I speak to someone just because they have a title that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Or sometimes what some people will do is that they will use their title to always push a conversation towards what that title might imply. Like I said before, with a title like King Dami, King Dom, Mommy, whatever, that usually implies some type of sexualized intention, yada yada, BDSM, basic stuff. Like, I'm into BDSM. But anything that I do with someone that I'm interested in, we usually keep that in like private quarters and safe words and stuff like that. We keep that amongst ourselves, and even if I display affection towards them in public, That's something that we will do towards each other, and we will not expect people that aren't a part of that to refer to us as. Why would you do that? You know? They're not a part of this. You know? I'm like, oh, I mean, again, I feel like I'm making some points here. Please tell me in the comments if you think differently. And if you do, again, let me know. Everyone has names. My name has stayed the same for over 5 years, for example. For over 5 years on Discord, my name, my photo. It's just that for me personally, I feel that even if you are a creative person, even if you feel like a different mood every once in a while, you want to be a different person every once in a while. Every other week, you're a different anime character. Every other week, you got a different hair color. When it comes to finding the person that you've known for so long and to be able to find them and talk to them, I want them to be able to find me and talk to me. So my name has always been Jam. My profile photo has always been some cartoon character of some sort, and I leave it as that. But that's just me. Everyone else is different, but I'm just putting my thoughts out there in case anyone feels like they might have something different to say. Now, second thought. This one was a bit more closer to home, which is regulating emotions, right? Now, a lot of people regulate emotions multiple different ways. Some people regulate emotions through outer body, more physical things, like I'm going through something, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going through something, I'm going to use that energy that I'm getting from it to do something like maybe painting or something constructive, which is a good way of doing it. But a lot of the times, these things could be coping mechanisms that doesn't fix the root cause of whatever it is, you know, of what is making you feel this way. Like, let's say anger management. Like, in case I didn't say that already, you get angry, and one of the main things I try to tell people about regulating your anger is don't lose control of your mind and your ability to think, right? So when I'm angry, when I'm in an angry place, at one point you gotta snap into it. You gotta snap into your head and go, I'm not happy of who I am right now. I'm not happy about how I'm reacting right now. I'm not happy about how I'm handling the situation. Personally, I don't like the kind of person I am when I'm in this state, especially for a situation that, now that I'm thinking about it, is not worth that level of anger. It's not worth that reaction, you know, and maybe I've gone through a lot in a day. Maybe this is the snap or the string or whatever that broke the camel's back, you know, and I'm just having a bad day, but I don't want to take it out on the people I love. I don't want to take it out on friends. And again, that's why a lot of people go through certain levels of coping mechanisms, because they don't want to do that, and they go to the gym, or they exert it towards a break room where they go into a place where they kind of start destroying stuff. You actually notice it a lot where you see someone playing a game and they've been struggling on a level, and their way of exerting all that, you know, stress and, you know, pressure is to kind of destroy something that they own. And especially if they're struggling financially, I'm like, oh, fuck, bro, that was your favorite keyboard. That was your favorite mouse. Dude, dude, you just, come on. Like, you're going to think about it afterwards and go, fuck. How am I even going to continue to be there for my teammates or finish working on this report or doing whatever, knowing that I just got rid of one of the key things I need to get the work done. And it sucks. So here's my thing real quick, right? So my way of going about this, my way of saying my approach to it is, anytime I find myself in that position, I try to have moments of self-reflection. I try to tell people all the time how important moments of self-reflection are. You know, a moment where you could just kind of sit down, even if you're not angry, even if emotions aren't really the situation, but where any moment at all where you could just sit down and check yourself. Check on how you're doing. Check if you're where you would like to be in life right now. Check if you're happy in the current situation, if this is where you want to be. Think about what might be holding you back from accomplishing things that you really need to hunker down into. Because by the end of the day, the more aware you are of your own self, where you are, your own situation, the more aware you are, the better. Because that allows you to be constructive in your own mind in regards to what options are available, how you can fix it, what steps that you can take to make this right for your, again, all for your own sake. All for your own sake. So what I would do with anger is I would notice where I am. I won't like where I was, and I'll try to kind of talk myself down from a high place. Some people do that as well, you know? And I gotta insist, don't think someone's crazy because they're talking to themselves. Sometimes, you gotta express an opinion outward to really give it some weight so that you can start really thinking about the options. Sometimes you gotta express yourself outside of yourself. Let you hear your own words physically, audibly, for you to really accept that what is happening and try to come up with a game plan about it. Like for me, I've done this a number of times where I've said, Jam, no one was hurt, just in an accident. Thankful of that, right? And on top of that, luckily, hey, it wasn't your fault. Check on the other driver, check on your car, inspect the cars, take photographs, keep calm. That will help this go a lot faster. Maybe they have to go to work. You need to go to work. You need this car. Figure this out. And if the person works with you to see how calm you are, that helps you figure out, oh, this is someone who's not freaking out. This is someone who's trying to find a peaceful resolution. This is someone that is keeping me calm when I was just in this situation. That is someone that in this situation you could look up to. And I would like to be that person. I want to be able to look back and say to myself that I grew, I didn't stay where I was, and I made change happen by simply taking a second to think about it. Sometimes it's that simple. Sometimes it's different for everybody, honestly. But anyway, that's enough of me talking. That was a quick, almost 20 minutes of me just talking. If anything I said was constructive at all, let me know. Okay, please let me know. If you feel that I could have touched on things a bit differently, let me know. Again, for someone like me, I really value communication, and being able to communicate is just so important. I love being able to talk to a lot of people, even if the topic is a bit hot and heated, even if my anxiety is going up. Sometimes I'm in chats, and this is again me trailing off, and I'm gonna make this quick. Sometimes I'm in chats and I put a heart monitor on, and I put that on display as I talk to people, and I do all of that just so that I can let them know where I am right now. That's me putting myself out there, and I do that a lot in multiple ways because I'm not afraid of you knowing how my heart's doing. I'm not afraid of you knowing that I'm feeling a bit uneasy right now. I'm not afraid of you knowing that something might be going wrong. And I do that for a number of things. One being the reason I just stated, and the other one is also checking myself, seeing how high it's getting right now. Seeing that, okay, so this is a situation that's causing me anxiety. This is a situation that's flaring up emotion. This is a situation that I need to handle. And sometimes I use that information and I start zenning out. I start As I'm in that situation, I start calming myself down, putting that heart rate down, practicing on that, working on that. So the next time that happens, I already have a plan on how I'm gonna be able to facilitate the goal of continuing a conversation, especially one that I feel that is very necessary. Because sometimes you're in a situation where you feel like everyone's against you. You feel like you're caving in. You're about to explode. And being able to stay in that situation, continue on, and get to the goal. Think about that. Anyway, thank you for watching. For anyone that did tag along, have a wonderful day. Until next time, peace out. Love you guys. Take it easy.